Hi Whiz Kids, I hope you're all doing really good and happy Sunday. Welcome back to our Fearbusters series and we're on to week 5 now. How crazy is that? How quick is this going? So today we're going to be looking at busting fear with trust. So today our story comes from 1 Kings and is about a man called Elijah. So before you watch this video, you need to go back and watch Grant, Train, Harper, who are going to tell the story. So go and click that video that is uploaded today as well. Before you watch this one, so just click pause and go and watch that and then we shall get on with it. So before we recap the story, I want to have a little think about what trust means so that when I'm retelling the story, you can have a think about what that means to you. So to me, trust means when you put all of your faith, which we talked about a few weeks ago, all that faith you put into God and believe that whatever he tells you to do and what instructions he gives you is for the right reasons and he's going to keep you safe and get you to the place where you want to be. That's what trust means to me. So another thing I want you to do before we recap the story is think of something that is amazing that has happened in your life. So have a quick think about that and then I shall tell you something amazing that's happened in my life. It doesn't have to relate to God directly, but it's fine if it does. It's great if it does. And I'm going to give you an example from my life as well. So something amazing happened to me when I was a teenager, so a few years ago, and it's probably when I was about 14 or 15, can't really remember. I played netball quite competitively, so I played for school and I also played for a club. And I worked really, really hard, was training 4 times a week for netball. And eventually, when I was about 15, I ended up being promoted from the team that I was in with all the people my age to the top team in my club, which meant that I was the youngest person by about 10 years on this team, and we were playing in the Premier League of the Open League in the East Riding of Yorkshire, which is where I'm from. So that was really amazing. Like, I worked so hard to get there and it paid off. So that was something amazing in my life. I wonder what yours is. So I followed the instructions of my coaches to improve upon my skill, and it ended up paying off and being able to move up the leagues, which was really cool and it was really exciting when I was that age. So it's a bit like if you were playing with Lego. I'm sure you've all probably played with Lego or something like that. So with Lego, you can get the kits where you make the different things. So you can get Star Wars one and make a spaceship, or you can get a Princess one and make a castle. And for them, you have to follow the instructions step by step to be able to make what you want is on the packaging. If you don't follow the instructions, then it's not going to look how it's meant to. So let's recap the story, which is in 1 Kings 17 verse 8 to 16. However, I am going to be reading from verse 2 just because it also shows another time that Elijah was trusted in God. So if you're making notes, then remember it's 1 Kings 17 verse 2 to 16. And if you're not making notes, maybe if you have some Lego, you could maybe try and make a piece of Lego that represents the story as I'm reading this. So yeah, that'd be a great thing to do. So let's read the story. I've got my Bible here, so I shall read it out to you. Then the Lord said to Elijah, "Go to the east and hide by Kerith Brook, near where it enters the Jordan River. Drink from the brook and eat what the ravens bring you, for I have commanded them to bring you food." So Elijah did as the Lord told him and camped beside Kerith Brook, east of the Jordan. The ravens brought him bread and meat each morning and evening, and he drank from the brook. But after a while, the brook dried up, and there was no rainfall anywhere in the land. Then the Lord said to Elijah, "Go and live in the village of Zarephath." I don't know how to say that. Near the city of Sidon. I have instructed a widow there to feed you. So he went to Zarephath. As he arrived at the gates of the village, he saw a widow gathering sticks, and he asked her, "Would you please bring me a little water in a cup?" As she was going to get it, he called to her, "Bring me a bite of bread too." But she said, "I swear by the Lord your God that I don't have a single piece of bread in the house, and I have only a handful of flour left in the jar and a little cooking oil in the bottom of the jug. I was just gathering a few sticks to cook this last meal, and then my son and I will die." But Elijah said to her, "Don't be afraid. Go ahead and do just what you've said, but make a little bread for me first. Then use what's left to prepare a meal for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. There will always be flour and olive oil left in your containers until the time when the Lord sends rain and the crops will grow again." So she did as Elijah said, and she and Elijah and her family continued to eat for many days. There was always enough flour and olive oil left in the containers, just as the Lord had promised through Elijah. How great is that? So this woman had nothing left and was just waiting for her and her son to die, which is awful, until Elijah came along and said, if you follow these instructions, then God is going to have everything okay in your life. The widow and Elijah always were following the instructions that God had placed. How crazy is it that God told Elijah that the birds would feed him, and he just trusted it, that the birds would come and bring him food? I don't think if God told me that birds were coming to feed me, I would really believe that. But Elijah did, and ended up surviving the drought. And also so did the widow and her son, because they trusted what Elijah had said to be true. So they followed all the instructions. It's just like Lego. When you are building Lego, you have to follow the instructions to be able to get what you want. So if you follow God's instructions, which is putting your trust in him, that means that he is going to give you what you want in your life, and you're going to get to the place where he wants you as well, which is great. So just before I end, I'm going to read another Bible verse, Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6. "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he shall show you the path to take." So just remember, whiz kids, that when you're a bit afraid with anything that's going on, if it's with schoolwork, you're worried and scared that it's not going well, or with coronavirus or anything that's going on, just remember, as long as you put your trust in God and follow his instructions as he tells you, it means that you are going to be safe, and he will show you which way you need to go. And that is all for today. So I hope you have a really good week and you've learnt a bit, and I hope your Lego looks really good, and you've made some good masterpieces about the story of Elijah and the widow, and I shall see you very soon. Bye.